Imagine discovering that the person you've shared the last 10 years of your life with isn't who you thought they were. Amanda Martinez thought she knew every detail about her husband, Michael, his likes, his fears, even the scar on his left knee from when he fell off his bike at 7 years old. But a simple phone call was about to shatter everything she believed she knew about the man who slept beside her every night. What she discovered on that rainy Tuesday in Seattle would not only change her life, but reveal a secret so deep that it would transform a love story into something completely unexpected. This is Amanda's story, and perhaps after hearing it, you'll never look at your own relationship the same way again. Amanda Martinez was 34 years old when her perfect life began to crumble. Living in a cozy house in the suburbs of Seattle, she and Michael had built together what seemed like the relationship of dreams. He worked as an engineer at a tech company, she as a high school teacher. Simple routine, sincere love, plans for the future. That Tuesday morning, while Michael was at work, Amanda decided to organize his office. It was a surprise. For months, he had been complaining about the mess, but never found time to clean it up. She wanted to do something special, show how much she cared about the small details of his life. She started with the desk drawers, work documents, pens, paper clips. Nothing extraordinary. But when she opened the bottom drawer, her hands found something unexpected. A small wooden box she had never seen before. Inside the box, there were photographs of Michael with a woman Amanda didn't recognize. They were embracing, smiling, clearly intimate. The woman was beautiful, with red hair and piercing green eyes. But what shocked Amanda most weren't the photos themselves, but the dates written on the back. All were from after their wedding. Amanda's heart raced. Her hands trembled as she flipped through the images. Michael kissing that woman. Michael holding her hand in a restaurant Amanda recognized. It was where they used to dine on their wedding anniversaries. Michael on a beach she had never visited, on trips he said were for work. But there was something else in the box. Letters, dozens of them, written in delicate feminine handwriting. Amanda opened the first with trembling fingers. My dear Michael, I can't stop thinking about our moments together. Every time you have to leave, my heart breaks a little more. I know the situation is complicated, but what we feel for each other is real. I wait for the day when we won't have to hide anymore. The letter was signed simply with E. Amanda felt the world spinning around her. 10 years of marriage. 10 years of I love you every morning and every night. 10 years of plans, dreams, complicity. Was all of this a lie? She continued reading the letters, each one more intimate than the last. But there was something strange about the letters. They were all old. The most recent was dated 3 years ago. Amanda looked at the photographs again. Michael looked different in them. Younger, happier. There was something in his smile that she couldn't identify. It was as if she were seeing a stranger who happened to have her husband's face. At that moment, she heard the key turning in the front door lock. Michael was coming home from work early. Amanda quickly put everything back in the box and placed it back in the drawer, but her mind was in turmoil. "Amanda, I'm home." His voice echoed through the house as it always did. The same loving voice of every day. The same voice that now sounded like a stranger's. "I'm here in the office, honey," she replied, trying to sound normal, but her voice came out strange, shaky. Michael appeared at the office door with that smile she knew so well, or thought she knew. Now, looking at him, Amanda wondered how many other things about that man she didn't know. What a surprise. "You're organizing my mess," he said, approaching to kiss her forehead. The same loving gesture as always, but which now made Amanda stiffen involuntarily. "I thought I'd help you," she murmured, avoiding his eyes. "How was your day at work? Normal? Boring meetings, tedious reports?" "Nothing you don't already know," he replied, loosening his tie. "But I was thinking, how about we go out for dinner tonight? It's been a while since we did that." Amanda watched him while he spoke. Was he also lying about work? How many boring meetings were actually meetings with E? How many tedious reports were afternoons in hotels? "Sure," she said, forcing a smile. "That would be great." But inside, Amanda knew that nothing would be great anymore. Her life had just transformed into a roller coaster of doubts, pain, and unanswered questions. And the first question that wouldn't leave her mind was, who was E? That night at the restaurant, Amanda could barely touch her food. She watched Michael talk about his day, tell jokes, be the perfect husband he had always been, but everything seemed like an act. She wondered if he had taken E to that same place, if he had whispered the same sweet words in other ears. "Are you okay?" "You seem distant today," Michael said, holding her hand on the table. The same gesture she had seen in the photograph, but with another woman. "Just a little tired," Amanda lied, gently withdrawing her hand. "Maybe it's work." During the following days, Amanda became a detective in her own home. When Michael left, she would return to the office, study every detail of the photographs, reread the letters looking for clues. She discovered that E mentioned specific places: a cafe in downtown Seattle, a park where they used to walk, a small hotel in the suburbs. A week later, Amanda made a decision that would change everything. She went to the cafe mentioned in the letters. It was a small, cozy place she had never visited. She ordered a coffee and sat in a corner, observing. She didn't know exactly what she expected to find, but felt she needed to be there. That's when she saw her. The woman from the photographs was sitting at a table just a few away, alone, reading a book. She was even more beautiful in person. Her red hair shone under the cafe's soft light, and there was a sadness in her green eyes that Amanda immediately recognized. It was the same sadness she herself had carried for days. Amanda watched the woman for almost an hour, gathering courage. Finally, she got up and approached her table. "Excuse me," Amanda said, her voice almost a whisper. "Are you... Are you?" The woman looked up, confused initially, but when she saw Amanda, her expression changed completely. It was as if she recognized who Amanda was, even having never seen her before. "You're Amanda." It wasn't a question, it was a statement. Michael's wife. Amanda sat in the empty chair across from the woman, uninvited. "How do you know who I am?" "He talked about you," the woman replied, closing the book. "My name is Emma Chen, and I imagine you found the letters." "And the photographs," Amanda added, her voice heavy with pain. Emma sighed deeply. "I imagined this day would come. I always told him we couldn't keep this secret forever. So, it's true. You... You're having an affair." "We were," Emma corrected, emphasizing the past tense. "It ended 3 years ago. We haven't seen each other since." Amanda felt a confusing mix of relief and confusion. But why did he keep the letters, the photos? Ma looked out the cafe window as if seeing the past. "That's something you'll have to ask him. But I can tell you my part of the story, if you want to hear it." Amanda nodded, even without knowing if she really wanted to know the details. "I met Michael 5 years ago," Emma began. "I was going through a difficult divorce, and well, he said you were having problems, that you slept in separate rooms, that you barely talked." Amanda frowned. 5 years ago, they were fine. Of course, they had the normal problems of any couple, but nothing like what Emma was describing. "That's not true," Amanda said firmly. "We never slept in separate rooms." Emma seemed genuinely surprised. He said you didn't love him anymore. That you were just waiting for the right moment to ask for a divorce. He lied to you, Amanda realized, and a new layer of betrayal was revealed. Michael had not only betrayed Amanda, he had also lied to Emma, manipulated her feelings. "Oh my God," Emma murmured, bringing her hands to her face. "I really believed him. I felt so much remorse, but he convinced me that I wasn't destroying a happy marriage." The two women sat in silence for a moment, absorbing the magnitude of the situation. Both had been deceived by the same man, each in a different way. "Why did you break up?" Amanda finally asked. "Because I got tired of waiting. He always said he was going to leave you, that he was just waiting for the right moment. But months passed and nothing changed. I realized he was never going to leave you and that maybe he didn't really want to. Emma stopped, looking directly into Amanda's eyes. Now I understand why. He loves you, Amanda. Always has. I was just a distraction. But Amanda didn't feel consoled by these words. How can someone love and betray at the same time? How can someone build a family with one person while building fantasies with another? There's something else you need to know, Emma said hesitantly. Something that might explain why he kept those letters. Emma took a deep breath before continuing. During our relationship, Michael told me something about his past. Something that maybe even you don't know. Amanda felt a chill down her spine. How many more secrets did her husband hide? He told me that when he was younger, he lost someone very important. A college girlfriend named Alina. She died in a car accident when they were 22 years old. Amanda was shocked. Michael had never mentioned an Alina. In 10 years of marriage, he had never talked about losing someone so important. He said he never completely got over that loss, Emma continued. And that's why he had difficulty fully committing to relationships. But that doesn't justify what he did, Amanda said, her voice trembling between anger and pain. No, it doesn't justify it, Emma agreed. But maybe it explains why he kept the letters and photos. He has a pattern of not being able to let the past go. Amanda felt like she was meeting a stranger who happened to have her husband's face. How many layers of secrets could one person hide? Emma, Amanda said slowly, "Can I ask you something? Did you love him?" Emma smiled sadly. "With all my heart." And that's why it was so hard to accept that he would never really be mine. That part of him would always belong to other people, to the past, to you, to fantasies he created in his mind. The two women remained seated in silence, united by shared pain. Both had loved the same man. Both had been hurt by his lies and secrets. "What are you going to do now?" Emma asked. "I don't know," Amanda admitted. "I need to confront him, but I don't know how. I don't know if I can forgive. I don't know if I can trust again. Can I give you some advice?" Emma said gently. "Don't make decisions in the heat of emotion. What Michael did was wrong, undeniably. But you built a life together. That has to mean something." Amanda thanked Emma, and they said goodbye to women who had become unlikely allies in the midst of an impossible situation. That night, Amanda waited for Michael to come home from work. When he walked through the door with his familiar smile, she was sitting in the living room. the letters and photographs spread out on the coffee table. Michael stopped in the middle of the room, his face paling when he saw what was before him. "Amanda, I can explain," he began, but she raised her hand, interrupting him. 10 years, Michael. 10 years of marriage, and I discovered I don't know you at all. What followed was the most difficult conversation of their lives. Michael confessed everything about Emma, about Alina, about the fears that prevented him from fully giving himself to any relationship. He cried, asked for forgiveness, begged for a second chance. Amanda listened to everything in silence, absorbing every word, every tear, every promise of change. "I don't know if I can trust you again," she finally said. "I don't know if we can rebuild this. Please," Michael whispered. "Give me a chance to prove I can be the husband you deserve." Amanda looked at the man she had planned to grow old with. She saw in him the wounded boy who had never gotten over Elena's loss, the insecure man who built walls instead of bridges. But she also saw the man who made her laugh, who took care of her when she was sick, who dreamed of having children with her. "We're going to need therapy," she said, after a long silence. "A lot of therapy, and you're going to have to get rid of all this," she pointed to the letters and photos. Michael nodded vigorously. "Anything. I'll do anything." 6 months later, Amanda and Michael were still together, rebuilding their trust brick by brick. There were days when Amanda almost gave up, days when Michael almost lost hope of being forgiven. But they learned something valuable, that true love isn't about being perfect. It's about choosing to work through imperfections together. It's about honesty, even when it hurts. It's about second chances when they're deserved. Amanda's story teaches us that relationships are more complex than we imagine. Sometimes the people we love carry wounds and secrets that even they don't know how to handle. This doesn't justify betrayal or lies, but it reminds us that we're all flawed humans, trying to navigate love and life the best way we know how. Forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting. It means choosing to give a chance for something new and better to be born from the ashes of what was broken. If this story touched your heart, leave a like to support the channel. Subscribe for more stories that talk about the ups and downs of life and love. And in the comments, tell me, what city or country are you watching from? I love knowing where our listeners are around the world. And you, have you ever been through a situation where you discovered that someone close was auntie who you thought they were? Share your experience in the comments. Sometimes, knowing we're not alone in our pain can make all the difference. Until the next video, remember, every story has more than one version, and every heart deserves a second chance when it's genuine.